In this video, you will learn the basics of subject headings, including what is a subject heading, what is a mesh heading, how to incorporate subject headings into a search, including a demonstration on searching within Medline. Subject headings are used by databases to index articles into categories as subjects. An article may be given more than one subject heading, but will only be given subject headings which relate to the main purpose or subject of the article. Database companies employ specially trained indexers to read the full text of each publication, then identify all of the concepts covered within the article. These concepts are then translated to controlled vocabulary used within a database. It's the indexer's job to ensure that each major concept included in the article is identified and assigned a subject heading. Medical subject headings, often referred to as MESH, are controlled vocabulary thesaurus of terms created by the National Library of Medicine and used within Medline, PubMed and CINAHL. They give uniformity and consistency to the indexing of literature within databases. They have scope notes to help you define the concept, and they will be updated yearly. Each database may have different subject headings to describe the same concept. That is because Medline and CINAHL use mesh headings, and we can see on this box to the right here that if I was to look for type 1 diabetes in Medline and CINAHL, the subject heading is Diabetes mellitus type 1. Embase, another database, uses Emtree subject headings. You will notice that these are slightly different. For example, the Emtree heading for type 1 diabetes is insulin-dependent diabetes mellitus. Finally, PsycInfo. This uses the American Psychological Association Index as subject headings. And you will see type 1 diabetes. The subject heading within here is diabetes mellitus. Mesh terms are organised hierarchically by subject category, with more specific terms arranged beneath a broader term. For example, within Medline, you will see that the subject heading list here, we can see the broad heading is diabetes mellitus, and narrower terms are listed underneath that, where we can see diabetes mellitus experimental, diabetes mellitus type 1, or narrower again, we would see Wolfram syndrome. Embase, as we mentioned, used Emtree headings, so you'll see that their subject headings are slightly different. The broader concept is still diabetes mellitus, but then we see down further, we can see narrower terms, where you've got diabetic complication, impaired glucose tolerance, and insulin-dependent diabetes mellitus. The third example here is from CINAHL, where again you can see we have the broader term, diabetes mellitus, and narrower terms such as diabetes mellitus type 1, diabetes mellitus type 2. So it's important to note, in terms of developing a search strategy, if you choose a narrower term for your search, the more limited results you will find. Using the same terminology throughout a database search creates consistency, precision, and helps you to find relevant information, no matter what terminology the author may have used within their publication. It's important to remember that keyword searches are also extremely important when you're conducting a review, and should be used in combination with relevant subject headings within each of your database searches. This helps, as authors may not always describe the concepts or objectives well, and indexers are not always experts in the subject area. The available indexing terms might not correspond to the terms that the searcher wishes to use, and new records added to databases may not yet be assigned a subject heading. We will now have a look at conducting a search in Medline to find a subject heading. To access Medline from the library homepage, scroll to databases A to Z, select M and select Medline. You will notice here on the search screen under the search box there's a box here ticked called Map Term to Subject Heading. You'd like to ensure that this remains selected because this allows you to type in your keyword. Medline will then try and match your term to the most appropriate subject heading. So for example, we will look for diabetes. Here we can see a list of suitable headings based on that keyword. When you're doing the search, you can select as many of these subject headings as you like that relate to the concept of diabetes that you are looking for. You can see the subject heading listed here in blue. Starting from the right hand side of the screen, the scope here, this is where it gives you a definition of the subject heading. So diabetes mellitus experimental is induced experimentally by administration of various agents. Focus, the middle column, will limit your search to those documents in which your subject heading is considered the major point of the article. This will restrict the number of records located, so you should use these carefully. Explode makes your search larger. It will retrieve results using the selected term and all of its more specific or narrower terms. To find out what this is, select the subject heading. For example, I'm going to click on diabetes mellitus. We scroll down to the row will be highlighted, and we can see here diabetes mellitus is our broad term, diabetes mellitus experimental, type 1, type 2, gestational and so on are our narrower terms. So if we choose to explode, this search will now encompass the results for diabetes mellitus all the way down to pre-diabetic state. And you'll notice with these numbers it's going to make the search a lot larger. So it's important to come in and make sure that if you're going to explode, you actually require information about these areas and the narrower subject. To include the subject heading in the search, we simply select the subject heading that we would like and then the keyword and select continue. You will notice that the search builds here line by line. Diabetes.mp. This is the keyword that we typed in. So the MP stands for multi-purpose, which is our keyword search. Diabetes mellitus with the slash here is the subject heading that we chose. So anything you see with a slash is always a subject heading. You would continue to build this search in this way by entering your keywords, choosing a subject heading that's relevant, and then use the combined with options under the lines to bring your concepts together. If you would like more information or need more help with subject headings, visit the Library Help and Information page where you will find links to book a librarian appointments and our chat service. In addition, you could look at the Systematic Review Guide and select the tab titled Developing a Search Strategy. There you will find information around selecting subject headings for your search. Thank you.